wonderful Australian citizens. We are proud. And why? Because when you came to this country, you knew it was a fair country with a great democracy, a great system of justice. And we call upon the Egyptian government, please, you have been through turmoil. Yes, there has been a revolution in Egypt. I was there in January. I was actually very proud to see the democratic movement in Tahrir Square. We have had enough. Now, I know there are many speakers here. We just want to show you that here in this country, all the lovers of freedom, all Australian citizens, they stand beside you. As we would if there were murders of Islamic people, we would still be here protesting because humans are humans. And the government of Egypt, if they want to be respected by the world, they have got to earn respect. We want a system of justice. If Egypt is to prosper and move forward, it must have peace. Peace on the streets, stop the murders, stop the rapes. I was in Egypt, and there are very good Islamic people there who hate what is happening. They do not like it for centuries. The Coptic Christians and the Islamic people in Egypt, they have lived together in peace. This is a minority who is causing the violence. It is up to the government and the Egyptian army to show morals and ethics. If they are good Muslims, they will stop this violence. We want justice, exactly. We want justice. 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 As Parliamentary Secretary to Barry O'Farrell, the New South Wales Premier, he stands with you today. The Labor Party stands with you today. The Christian Democrats. We are together and we will make our voices heard internationally to Egypt. Yes, we will. We will not let you down. So God bless. We keep praying, we keep protesting, and we say, please listen, all the Islamic people of Egypt, the Egyptian army, the Egyptian leaders. Please, if you want Egypt to return to its former glory, please bring justice and stop the violence. Thank you.
On behalf of Tony Abbott, he couldn't be here today, but he has asked me to read this message on his behalf. On behalf of the Coalition, I condemn the recent acts of violence perpetrated against Coptic Christians in Egypt and extend my sympathies to the families of the dead and injured. I join with Australia's Coptic community in condemning such violence. Tens of thousands of Copts living in Australia will be anxiously following events in the lead up to the parliamentary and presidential elections later in the year. Egypt is currently undertaking a long and difficult process of political reform. The Coalition hopes that reform leads to a greater acceptance of religious pluralism and a commitment to human rights for all of Egypt's people and religious communities. Signed, yours sincerely, Tony Abbott, Leader of the Opposition and Federal Member for Warringah.
I'd like to move on to our next speech now. We have Mr. Scott Morrison, who is a Liberal federal member for Cook and the Shadow Minister for Immigration and Citizenship. Thank you, Scott.
Well, thank you very much for the opportunity to be here today and show our support for your very, very worthy cause, which is represented here today. Can I particularly acknowledge my good friend and colleague, Craig Kelly, the member for Hughes, who is also from the Shire, and it's great to be here with him, and to have Senator Ferranti Wells, also my federal colleague here, speaking on behalf of our leader, Tony Abbott. I hope, and also to particularly acknowledge the letter from my other parliamentary colleague, Philip Ruddock, who has been a champion of this cause over many, many years. But he's not alone. Kevin Andrews, a former federal immigration minister from Melbourne, from the Liberal Party, has also been a very keen advocate of this cause, and it's one that I also share. This is a cause that should be before the attention of our parliaments. It is a cause that should be for the United Nations. It is a cause that should be loudly understood by all of those who have an interest in one of the most important things that we hold dear in this country. When people come to this country, and I look out today on thousands of great Australians who've come to this country because you believe in something incredibly important, and that is freedom of religion, the freedom to worship, the freedom to be able to associate, the freedom to be able to live your lives and pursue your dreams and to raise your family as you choose to do so. These are important freedoms that we celebrate in this country, and these are freedoms that we so dearly would like to be available to your family, to your friends, and those who are in Egypt today. And that is what I think we are focusing on today. We are focusing on today that desire, that dream, that others around the world, but particularly in Egypt, and particularly the Copts in Egypt, who have suffered such persecution over such a long period of time, can enjoy that freedom in their home country. In late January, when the world watched on as the uprising started in Egypt, many were filled with hope. But that hope now turns to concern. That hope turns to concern, and I think it is incumbent on Australia as a free country, as a country that believes in freedom, to ensure that in the forums of the world that we can see freedom restored to Egypt. Now, one of the things I would ask the Foreign Minister to do from this platform here today, I would ask Mr Rudd to this week come into our federal parliament and report to the parliament on what the Australian government is doing to ensure there is peace and there is freedom of religion and worship for all Copts in Egypt. The other thing I would seek for the government to restore the other thing I would seek for the government to restore is something the Coalition pledged before the last election. Prior to 2007, each year, the Australian government was taking over 100 Copts under our humanitarian program. That was a program we were very proud to support. I understand that that program has no longer continued those numbers over the last 3.5 years, and I think that is a great disgrace. The Coalition will restore that program. We will restore taking those from Egypt who are suffering persecution as Copts, as we did when we were last in government. And as a Minister of Immigration, I would be looking forward to seeing those applications come forward, and I would be looking forward to having the opportunity under our program with people applying offshore for their chance of freedom in Australia, for Australia to do what we've always done, and that is to provide that opportunity for those who are seeking that freedom. So I wish you, Father Tadros, and I wish all of you here today, all God's blessings, all God's peace. We pray for your family and your friends who are in Egypt today, and we express our solidarity with them as peace-loving people. You are great Australians who have much to be proud of, and we stand by you and we stand with you.